So hi again, everybody. I'm John. I work in admissions. I'm an admissions representative, so I'm here to go through our admissions shtick, answer any questions that you guys might have. I tend to talk a mile a minute, so if anything I comes out way too fast, just say, Johnny, slow down. And I'm happy to do so. We're going to go through, like AJ said, a bunch of different departments today. We're going to have someone talk a little bit more about financial aid and NJ STARS and our foundation and the EOF program that we have. All of them really do a great job of helping to make college a little more affordable. So let's talk a little bit more about OCC at a glance. What I'm going to start with is this little video that we have. I know you guys just went on a tour of campus, but this does kind of give you a good idea of what we're about.
Look around. Everything is changing, and Ocean County College is on the leading edge. The continuing evolution of higher education puts OCC in position for sustained growth and increasing prominence. That's because where students start no longer dictates where they end up. At Ocean County College, you can start here, go anywhere, and with the way higher education is evolving, colleges like OCC are poised to be more relevant and in demand than ever before. We are a launch pad, sending our students out into the world to do great things.
It really gives you the tools to pursue what you want in life.
The help that they give me is crucial for my development.
OCC has helped me a lot academically and financially.
Nearly 70% of our graduates enroll at a four-year institution within a year of their graduation from OCC. OCC offers everyone a chance to learn. Our foundation awards over $500,000 a year in scholarship support, making education even more affordable. It's about academics, but here it's also about a better life. Our goal is to help students assume responsibility for their own behavior, develop their own skills through experiences, and become aware of their own strengths. And our students love it. In a 2016 survey, 98% of our students said they'd highly recommend OCC to family and friends. This is the real college experience, with 13 intercollegiate sports teams and 16 NJCAA national championship bids in just the last few years and counting. We have more than 60 on-campus clubs and student organizations, and 40 student activity clubs funded through the Student Union.
There's something for everybody here. It's an awesome opportunity to start your college education.
Our diverse student body has created a welcoming community for all, and Ocean County College hosts a world of experiences for the entire community. The Grunin Center for the Arts, the Novins Planetarium, continuing education for lifelong learners, and summer camp for kids. But it's more than that. When you become a part of OCC's future becomes a part of you.
OCC is more of a family at this point. It prepares you not only academically for your future, but socially as well.
You couldn't get anything better than here.
Okay, so I know we just went on tour, like I said, but it's kind of good to bring everything home and tell you a little bit more from our students, not just my student ambassadors, about OCC kind of at a glance. So you guys are here today with the OCC Inlet series. Again, it's a series, so we have a couple different ones. So today we're going to be focusing on funding your education. I'm not going to patronize and read too much off of here. I'm just going to point out our price per credit currently is $147.50 per credit. That's great. So let's say you're looking at a full course load of 15 credits, which is like 5 classes. It's going to come to just under $2,500 for the semester. If you think about tuitions at other schools, that's the price of one class at another school, and that's a full course load here. I'm going to point out our student-faculty ratio is 26:1. And in 2014, about half of the high school graduates in the county came to us first. That might mean they came directly to us or they transferred to another school and then came back to OCC. But just about half of the county students came here in 2014, which is really great. A lot of people are always worried like, oh, I'm not going to know anyone in college, maybe I should just go right to the workforce. There are people here that you know, so you kind of have a cohort that you're coming in with. I'm just going to point out a couple things on here. As we can see, we have some inclining numbers at the bottom. If you just get your high school associate's degree or high school graduate degree, annually you'll earn $1.8 million, and if we jump up to the associates, we're coming up to 2.2. Obviously, it goes up a little more as you get further in your education, but it is nice to know that we do that with the associate's degree. It's not just a piece of paper. It helps increase your earning potential. So OCC offers a couple different things. We offer associate's degrees and we offer certificates. The differences in the associate's degrees are we have the associates in arts and associates in science. Those are typically designed to transfer. So let's say you want to go to Stockton or Kane or any other school, you can take those and transfer out. And associates of applied science, AAS, takes you right to the workplace. So if anyone was interested in our nursing program, that's one of the AAS degrees that we offer. And these are a couple of the programs we offer. Again, we have an AAS in nursing, we have an AA in general studies. What people will typically do, an AA in liberal arts and an AS in general studies. What people will typically do is if they plan on transferring out, they'll go with a general studies degree with a concentration. So it could be a concentration in business or humanities or science, and they'll transfer out to whatever school they plan on attending to. If they have no idea what they want to do and they just want to get their associates from OCC and kind of figure it out later, they can go for a liberal arts degree. It's a little bit more structured. And then if anyone was interested in picking up a certificate through our continuing and professional education department, you can pick it up through them. Over here we have a couple of the ones they offer: medical coding and billing, which is very popular, yoga, which is very popular, veterinary assistant, and these are designed to go right to the workplace. So let's say you want to get an associate's degree in biology and you want the vet assistant certificate. That'll certify you to work right in a veterinary's office or a veterinarian office. It doesn't certify you to be a vet, so you would have to continue for that at like the master's level. And they don't count for credit. So like I said, they go right into the workplace, and you would like if you wanted to apply it to a degree program down the road, you'd still obtain the certificate, but you wouldn't get any credit from it down the line. We try to make classes as accessible as possible to everyone at any given point. We always make the joke in the admissions office that you're always 2 weeks away from starting a term at OCC, and we're not wrong. We have a couple different terms that you can join. We have quick terms which start partway through the semester. We have accelerated terms that are condensed. We have ours traditionals like fall and spring offerings. We have winter intersession. We have a couple different summer sessions that you can join too. So again, we're just trying to make sure that we make classes as possible to attend as possible. We have face-to-face classes where you'll come traditionally meet with a professor. We have online, we have hybrid where you meet online and in person every now and then. And all of these are made evident to you when you're picking the classes. So it'll show you where the location is. If it's an online class, it'll say the location is online. You can transfer there's a law in place in New Jersey called the Lambert Law that protects all of the credits that you get. So if you finish your full associate's degree through OCC and you transfer out to Kane or Stockton or whatever school, a public in-state school specifically, they have to take all of your credits. So you kind of start in the meat and potatoes of your major, you're a junior there, and you can get right into that content. If you're going out of state or private, we usually just recommend staying in touch with their transfer office. I found they're pretty generous with which credits they'll keep. But again, it's just best to stay in touch with them. And we always recommend doing that too, because some schools might say, we'd really rather you take our fundamentals of public speaking, take this at OCC, take that at OCC. And they'll kind of help you build your OCC career on what they're looking for. So it makes a seamless process even more seamless. Kane basically has a satellite here where you can get your full associates through OCC and your bachelor's from Kane for under $35,000, which is great. They have all their popular programs down here. I know it's a little fuzzy to read, but they have education, they have business degrees, they have public administration. You can get a master's degree down here too. So it's nice that you can get your full associate's degree for under $35,000, or I'm sorry, your full associate's and bachelor's for under $35,000. Again, that is the price of some schools for 1 year. So that's a pretty important thing to keep in mind. We also, a lot of people get panicked about like, what do I do in college? What's my support team? I don't have a guidance counselor. We do have a team in place to help take care of you. So we have advising. If you have questions on any of your classes, you can pop into them at any point. They can answer general questions. You also are given a faculty advisor who is ideally within your program. So you can go and talk to them about, it's a good networking opportunity as well, so you can talk to them a little bit about internships maybe. They can help you help answer questions that you have on like upcoming classes, and they're typically in your field, well ideally in your field. We have employment and career counseling, so if you had a question about getting a job, you could go meet with them. You could go to the Center for Student Success, which offers tutoring. EOF, which we'll learn more from today, the library, the Center for Access and Equality. And again, all these are in place so there's like a safety net to help you find a safe place to fall. So if you ever needed assistance with anything, they can jump in at any point to help you out. I'll talk about this really briefly. If you have an IEP in high school and you wanted to institute a 504, which is kind of the same thing but for college, there's just like an onboarding packet that I can get for you. If you have any specific questions, feel free to come up and pick my brain on it after. We have over 55 different clubs and organizations that you can join here at OCC, and we have 13 D3 sports as well. So among the the clubs that we offer, we have Phi Beta Kappa, which is an honor society. We have the NJ Stars Club, the Sailing Club. And if we didn't have a club that you were interested in, you can get together with 10 of your friends and put one together. So you just have to put the charter together, find a faculty or staff advisor, and then your club's in action. I've actually just got the new advisor of the Feminist Alliance at OCC, which is a brand new club they just put together. And it's a pretty seamless process, like I said. You just need 10 friends and a faculty or staff advisor, and then it's put together. We also offer great study abroad opportunities, which we don't have a slide for. The study abroad opportunities, we go around the world. We go to Morocco, we go to Mexico, we go to the DR. We do something with our Hospitality, Recreation, and Tourism Management program in the DR. We go to where else do we go? Oh, yeah.
Ireland.
Ireland, London, France. Yeah, we go all over the globe. And they all cost just about under $4,000, which is kind of nice, so that's a pretty reasonable rate, and they'll include everything except the fun things that you want to bring home with you. So you can go and it'll cover the accommodations, it'll cover the transportation, it'll cover the shows that you go to see and the excursions you go on. The only thing you have to pay for, like I said, are the fun things that you bring home. You can apply for scholarships for them, which is really great, so that makes them a little bit more affordable. And they're usually offered on like a rotation, so we just went to Ireland, we probably won't be going back for another year. You can take them for credit, so that means that you can get class credit for going. There's like a class that you would take before to talk about the culture, learn the language a little bit. You'd go on the trip and then you'd come home and there's a debrief and there's like a big paper due at the end. I think it's about like 10-ish pages depending on the section that you take, but you'll have plenty to talk about. And it is a really great opportunity. And if you didn't want to take them for credit, like let's say you just wanted to go for the experience, you can do that too. They're open to community members as well. Athletics, we have 13 D3 sports like I was talking about. We have soccer, we have basketball, we have baseball, we have softball, we have football, we don't have football, we have lacrosse, we have volleyball. And if you have any specifics on questions on sports or anything like that, you can feel free to pick my brain after. There is like a recruitment season in the beginning of the semester where you would meet with the coaches, you would try out, and hopefully you make the team. And the four-year schools do look at us too, so they'll come and they'll look at, because people panic, like how do I transfer out with this? The coaches from 4 years will come and they will look at the sports teams and they'll recruit from us directly. So they'll work with coaches to help get you into another program. And a lot of times the athletes will say that they wish they didn't have to leave. They wish this was a 4-year school because they had such a great experience here because the coaches really bond with them and helps make a family out of the team, which is kind of nice. So what we're going to transition into now is we're going to talk a little bit more about the other departments we have here. We have Deanne from Financial Aid to talk a little bit about the FAFSA and filling that out and the deadlines. We have Sherry here from the foundation to talk a little bit more about the scholarships that we offer, how to make school a little bit more affordable. We have someone here from NJ Stars to talk a little bit more about that grant. We've actually just started contacting the NJ Stars students, so if anyone has any questions, we have Anna Maria and Jen Kipp in the back to talk a little bit more about it, and I also know a good deal about it as well. And we have someone here from EOF to talk a little bit more about another great homegrown New Jersey opportunity. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it over to Deanne Salter from Financial Aid.
Just give you some of the basics. Financially, it's an application. It's a free application online. We call it the FAFSA. And what financial aid is you're applying for grants and loans and scholarships. The scholarships here at OCC require a FAFSA application. It's free. We do have some important deadlines for the fall and for the spring semester. It gives some students time to apply. So if this semester starts in January, like we have the upcoming spring, our deadline or our primary deadline is March 1st. All right. There's also an application for state aid when you do the FAFSA. The FAFSA is, like I said, it's free. It's a free application. It asks for your state of residency, and most states in the United States have a state grant that they that you could possibly qualify for. Those have some different deadline dates, but when you do one, you do two. Part of the FAFSA, the hardest part of the FAFSA for filing for financial aid is the FSA ID. The FAFSA, the application is basically looking for family size and income and the number of students you might have in college. You know that stuff. You know that information. The FSA ID is the security code that you would electronically sign the FAFSA for. It's linked to your email. It's something that you need to establish in order to sign. And like I said, it's the most difficult part of the FAFSA. It really is. Part of the FAFSA application also is eligibility for New Jersey Stars. So if you wanted to be considered for New Jersey Stars, FAFSA application is also required. New Jersey Stars, Jen will talk more about what New Jersey Stars is, but it does require a FAFSA. I was speaking just before about state aid. It's called HESA. We call it a TAG grant. So it's additional monies that could be available to a student when they apply for financial aid. When you apply for scholarships and grants, doing the FAFSA application, there's a next step. It's not just filing a FAFSA. So making sure that you check the documents. Let me just back up a second. When you file a FAFSA, usually the process is you file the application. It takes 3 to 5 business days to complete that application. You're notified by the government, by the Department of Education, that the FAFSA has been processed. And then there's actually another step that families should take, and that's what you gain from these info sessions, and that's contacting the financial aid office or looking on the student portal to see if there's any documents that need to be sent to the financial aid, because there's a review process sometimes that takes place. At the end of the FAFSA, there is, when you do the FAFSA application, there is another process for the state grant. It's called the TAG grant with HESA. You want to make sure that you go to the final link to complete that. We also have FAFSA Workshops, which are a great tool for families. These are not necessarily for just Ocean County College potential students. This is for anyone who is interested in filing a FAFSA. We will sit down on these specific dates with financial aid staff to actually sit there and work with you to fill out this application. And as I said, the application has been reduced from previous years. It uses some smart logic, and it's very condensed compared to what it was. Like I said, the hardest part is the FSA ID. But in these workshops, we'll sit there and we'll actually help you answer questions and fill out the FAFSA. Basically, what the FAFSA does is it gives you opportunity to apply for grants. It's a Pell Grant. It is the federal grant. The maximum for that is $59.20. That's usually divided into the two main semesters, the fall and the spring. So basically, a full award would be about. And there's also the tag, the state award that I was speaking of, is about $26.80. So totally, you're looking about a $7,000 package if you're fully eligible. And then there's also some other grants from the EOF, which they'll talk about in later. Then, can you just go back? When you file a FAFSA, you're also there's a potential to apply for loans, student loans, which are low or no interest loans while you're attending school. They're a great feature, so if a family doesn't qualify for the free gifted money, which is the grants, they could qualify for some loans. Loans aren't just given, a student needs to do additional steps for that. So when you file a FAFSA, if you're interested in loans, there's a next step. You want to contact our office or look on our webpage to know to find the instructions. And there's a few different types of loans that we have. We have subsidized and unsubsidized, and the FAFSA application actually calculates how that interest is accrued. So a subsidized loan is a no interest loan while a student's attending. An unsubsidized loan, the interest actually accrues while the student is here. Okay, so you have the choice. Well, you have the choice of what kind of loans you want, but the FAFSA determines how the interest is calculated. We are located in the admin building, which is right across from this building. It's building 1. We're on the main floor, or the first door on the left when you walk in. We're open until 8 o'clock, so it's 8 to 8, our hours are, and 5 on Fridays. You can reach us by email, by phone, by fax. And a lot of the information that I've gone over here today is accessible on our financial aid webpage, which I'm sure you're probably familiar with. You can apply now. Anytime. Well, it's right now we're working on the you'll be looking at 2016 income tax return. So you've already filed that. So we go prior year now. That's something new with the financial aid department. So it's not too early. It's not too early. And it's good. The earlier you do it, the better off you'll be. You could probably do it now. Right, because that school is, if they're funding a student and he's already attending.
So it's already been funded for fall.
The addition of a different school code on the FAFSA should not make a difference. It shouldn't make a difference. If you change anything in the FAFSA,
no, just
that could go back.
The school code.
Just adding another school is fine. Well, we have students who are filing now for the fall. I don't advise that.
Okay.
I don't advise that. The sooner the better, because it is prior year. So it's current, it's very fluid. The last day that you could file for a year, so next year, if your student's coming in the fall,
yes,
the last possible time that they could file would be in June of 2019 for the academic year of 18-19. You wouldn't want to wait that long.
No, I'm just wondering.
Okay. But you can file now. Yeah, you can file now. You can file now. It's never too early, and a lot of times it's not too late. If I could phrase it like that.
Okay.
Currently, right now, for the 18-19 academic year, the application went out October the 1st. So you should be preparing to file your FAFSA now for the upcoming fall semester. If you're planning to have any state aid, you have until April the 15th to have all your state application completed at the state level to qualify for the tuition aid grant plan.
And when you file a FAFSA, there's always a next step, so you have to keep that in mind. Well, not always, but for the most part, there's additional documentation that's needed from the student, and that can prolong determining a student's eligibility. So it really is the sooner you do it, the better off you'll be, the less stress. Selective service is basically when a young man turns 18, they're required by law to register with the federal government for the draft. Mm-hmm. Not that the draft is instituted, but our military is good. So it's not for however long a student wants to attend. There's a 12-term time limit on it. Financially does run out eventually.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Sharon. I work for the Ocean County College Foundation, a job honestly which I absolutely love. And as an OCC alumni, I will strongly encourage each and every one of you here to apply for the Foundation Scholarship because, like I said, I went to OCC. I knew nothing about the Foundation Scholarship, so it's free money that you could definitely apply for. Our goal is to provide financial support and community outreach to further the college's mission. So basically, we're the fundraising arm of the college. Our main focus, however, is on scholarships and making higher education more accessible to all Ocean County residents. Like the video said, last year alone we gave out, this past academic year, we awarded over 670 scholarships, totaling more than $520,000 here at OCC. And since our inception in 1965, we've awarded nearly $10 million in direct scholarship support. Okay, so we have a few different scholarship programs here at Ocean County College, but primarily what I'm going to talk to you about is our General Foundation Scholarship. We award scholarships to assist Ocean County residents attending Ocean County College for support of their direct educational expenses. So when I say educational expenses, it's for tuition and fees. We do have some scholarships that are awarded for books as well. Some of the other type of scholarship programs that we offer, including is our Ocean First Foundation Scholarship, which they award $51,000 scholarships to incoming freshmen. We also award scholarships to honor scholarships, graduating awards, and our international studies programs as well. So like Johnny was saying earlier on, it's a great opportunity. I wish if I was, back in school, I would definitely apply to one of the international studies programs. Ireland, they have London and France, coming up in the new year as well. So there's definitely, money available for students that are looking to apply to go on these types of trips. Regarding the scholarship application, it's fairly simple to apply. Students would go to our website, go.ocean.edu/scholarships. You must be an Ocean County resident. You must be enrolled in a degree-seeking program, have a GPA of at least a 2.0 or higher, and you must fully complete the FAFSA. Deadlines are generally on our website. If they're not, you could always call the foundation office. For students that are going to be coming to Ocean County College this fall, the application will be open probably around March, I want to say about March 5th or so, and it will close in July. So you really need to get a jump start on applying for the Foundation Scholarship if you're going to be coming to Ocean County College in the fall. Scholarships are available for full and part-time students, and they're available for all of our semesters as well. Scholarships range from $375 to $1,250, and they're paid directly to the student's account. Scholarship dollars are based on a full-time enrollment status, which is 12 credits or more. Say if you're taking less than 12 credits, that's totally okay. The amount's just going to be prorated by the number of credits that you're actually taking. The amount of the scholarship is dependent upon the student's financial needs, GPA, and enrollment status at the time that the award is dispersed. So one thing that I do want to stress is that our foundation is very generous. For the most part, if you apply for the scholarship, you will get it as long as you meet all of the requirements. We have primarily about 8,000, 9,000 students here attending Ocean County College. And I want to say each year for the fall, we probably get about 400 people that apply, and then for the spring, 400 students as well. So, definitely, apply for the Foundation Scholarship. I mean, it's absolutely, worth it. The foundation does not award scholarships to students receiving full financial aid. With that being said, let's say, for example, someone's tuition is $1,500 and they're receiving $1,000 with aid. Being that, we're not going to overfund the students, so they'll still be eligible for their scholarship. If you are receiving full financial aid, then unfortunately, you're not eligible for the scholarship. But, if you're not sure, I would still apply, for the foundation scholarship, and then we'll just send you a letter. Unfortunately, your tuition is being covered by aid. The other restrictions that we have are, NJ Stars, Kanyon University students, because you can apply for the Kanyon University scholarship, employees of OCC, and JumpStart students, because that tuition is already reduced already. So, we do require a transcript of grades, a current year FAFSA, a copy of your driver's license, an essay, and I say essay really loosely because it's only 250 words, and that's basically a paragraph, so it's something so simple. And students are asked for to put in one reference questionnaire as well. Here's a snapshot of our scholarship application. And like I said, for the most part, it's fairly simple, but the foundation office is always here to help. We are also, like Deanne said, located in the administration building up on the second floor, and our hours are primarily Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30. Students fill out the one application for over 90% of our opportunities, and then they get matched on the back end for any of our other areas of focus. So just because you're only filling out the one application doesn't mean you're not going to be matched to any other scholarships, that are available, because we have probably over, I want to say, 70 funds. In addition to the main scholarship, we do have 6 apply to scholarships that can be filled out after the general scholarship has been, after you've already applied for the general foundation scholarship. The 100 Women, the David Ashoni, the Devon Memorial, and the Jeff Meyer Environmental Science Scholarships. I will say for the 100 Women Scholarship, it's primarily geared towards women, but men can absolutely apply as well. Does anybody have any questions?
The JumpStart program is the high school program, so students that are in high school that are taking college credits. Foundation does not fund JumpStart students because they're already getting the scholarship through our Board of Trustees. They have the reduced tuition rate of $90-something a credit, $93.50 as opposed to $147.50. So the foundation scholarship doesn't currently cover JumpStart. So if you're in high school taking college credits, you can't, because you also have to apply for the FAFSA to be eligible for the foundation scholarship, and you can't apply for financial aid unless you're a high school graduate.
So I'm just going to give you a little background information on what NJ Stars is. It's the Student Tuition Assistance Reward Scholarship that the state of New Jersey created in 2004 to help students with the cost of college. And there are certain eligibility requirements that we're going to talk about in a second, both academic and financial aid requirements that need to be completed. But it's exclusively could cover the costs at a community college for students who qualify, cost of tuition. Up to 18 credits per semester for up to 5 semesters following high school graduation. Fees, books, and some other things are not covered, but basically it's a tuition. It covers the tuition. In order to qualify, a student would have to be in the top 15% of their class, either at the end of their junior year or upon high school graduation. So that's one of the main eligibility requirements. You would have to attend the county college in your home county and be a resident of New Jersey, and you would have to file the FAFSA. Okay, that's important. All the financial aid paperwork has to be completed as well. You don't necessarily have to start immediately following graduation. They do give you up until the 5th semester following high school graduation to activate your stars if you're eligible. So sometimes we even occasionally have a student who will go to another school first and then for various reasons want to come back to the community college. So they may still be eligible for stars depending on several other factors. In addition to being in the top 15% of your class, you have to prove what they call college readiness. And to do that, you must do that within a year following your high school graduation. regardless of whether you start the college right away or not. So many students prove that while still in high school by taking SATs or PARCC. And there are certain eligibility requirements for the SATs. As long as your reading and writing score was a 450 or higher and your math score was a 500 or higher, that would prove you college ready as far as STARS is concerned. It also would exempt you from needing to take any placement testing here. And they also will look at PARCC scores. So if you don't have SAT scores, you might have the PARCC scores. As long as you have a 4 or 5 on your 11th grade English PARCC, or a 4 or 5 on your Algebra 2 PARCC in high school, that also would prove you college ready for STARS. And if for some reason you do not have either of those test scores, you can take the AccuPlacer test here at OCC and qualify that way. But again, it would have to be done within a year following high school graduation in order to be eligible. A couple other little ways you could be eligible if you took AP English or AP Calculus and score high enough to earn college credits through that. That would also show college readiness in those subject areas. And occasionally, if a student does go to another college right out of high school, you may have passed a college level English or math there as well. So various ways to prove college readiness, but that's part of the academic eligibility that you must show for STARS. If a student comes and has to take the AccuPlacer here and ends up needing developmental classes, you may still eventually qualify for STARS, but not while you're in those developmental classes. You must complete the developmental classes, and that would have to also be done within that year following high school graduation in order to be able to possibly activate your STARS. So NJ STARS will not cover any semester in which you're required to take developmental classes because you really cannot yet qualify for STARS until you've proven that college readiness. So that's important to know. So you would be paying out of pocket or using other financial aid if you have that, if you do need to take developmental classes, but once they're completed, then your STARS may be able to be activated. OCC has consistently had the highest number of STARS students of all the community colleges in New Jersey, according to HESA, to the State Assistance Authority. And we have approximately 350 STARS students enrolled here at OCC right now. And this chart, which you probably can't see very clearly, but it's just showing the various numbers we've had over the last several years here at OCC. So we always have a good turnout here for our STARS students. So in addition to the academic eligibility, on the financial aid end, the student must complete the FAFSA every year. And there's also state aid paperwork that has to be completed as well at njgrants.org. A student must maintain full-time enrollment, meaning 12 credits or more, to stay eligible for STARS. So you cannot attend part-time as a STARS student. You also must maintain a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or higher to maintain your eligibility once you're in the program. And you must come continuously. You can't, come for a semester, use your STARS, and then decide you want to take a semester off. The only exception to that would be for a medical or a military leave, but otherwise you have to keep coming continuously, and you have up until 5 semesters to utilize STARS. There's also a STARS 2 program in New Jersey, and that would be for a student who graduates the community college, still STARS eligible under their STARS scholarship, with a 3.25 GPA or higher, and then transfers to a 4-year New Jersey school. You may be able to qualify for STARS 2, and STARS 2 scholarship gives you up to $1,250 a semester at the 4-year school. So in order to be eligible for that, you must graduate from the community college with your associate's degree within that 5-semester time frame. You must graduate with a 3.25 or higher, get accepted, of course, to the New Jersey school, continue to complete your FAFSA and all of your state financial aid, and your family income cannot exceed $250,000 to be eligible. And you have until the 2nd semester following the county college graduation to get enrolled and activate your NJ STARS 2. So there are several good opportunities for NJ STARS students who choose to come to OCC. Obviously, the free tuition is certainly a big highlight. We do offer a variety of majors here and small class sizes, so you really have the ability to get to know your professors and to get to know other students and work with other students. We have a lot of clubs and organizations, as John mentioned earlier. We also have an NJ Stars Club that students can join, and it's really focused on two things: service, community service, as well as fellowship, getting to know other similar students. We also have academic advisement for all of our students here, but as well as I work with the NJ Star students to help advise them to make sure that they're taking the right classes for both here while they're here, and also depending on what your transfer goals are for when you transfer. Once you do transfer, if you are eligible for the NJ Stars 2, again, you would complete your FAFSA every year. You still have to be full-time and fully enrolled at the four-year school. You have to maintain that 3.25 GPA after your junior year to be eligible, and any other institution requirements that that school may have. So they would have to graduate at the end of their senior year, or they would have had to qualify at the end of their junior year. They would have had to be.
She's at like 15.8.
Yeah.
So
maybe
stretch out to the end of this
by the end of senior year.
Well, EOF, Educational Opportunity Fund Program, is a state-funded program. We're charged by the state to provide access to a higher education. But not only that, as we look at the students who we bring in and work with, we work with the student until they graduate from OCC. We're looking to help the student have a successful journey. So that would include everything, not only the financial aid piece of going to school. And that's a little bit about our history, but I'm gonna skip that for a moment to move into who we serve. The EOF program, and again, it's a state-funded program, and it's charged by the state to look at a particular population, a population that probably would not consider going to college because they don't have the finances, and maybe their parents didn't go to college, don't know the ins and outs of how to apply and so on, so they might not have considered. So we're looking at that population in the state of New Jersey to help them and provide them the access and the way to apply to college and succeed while here. So here's some of the things that describe a student in our program. We're looking at the history, the economic history of the student, I mentioned before, the generational piece in terms of college attendance. The students must be full-time and file the FAFSA, which you've been hearing throughout the day. You must file the FAFSA. We're a state program, and as was mentioned before, April is the deadline. We won't be able to fund anyone who applies after that. Some of the services that we provide beyond the $525 per semester, and actually that's this semester. Starting next semester, we will be giving students $575. Did I say 520? All right, so starting next semester, it's $575 per semester. We provide professional tutorial assistance as well as academic advising. One of the nice things about our program is that we also provide summer tuition benefits. So students who are part of the EOF program will also have an opportunity to take classes during the summer. We will cover the classes. We will not cover the books. And we work with students from the beginning of their college journey until they graduate. What I mean by that is that we have a summer program for pre-freshmen. We call the first year. So we work with the students during the summer, then they go into their first semester and move through the continuing semesters to graduation. Some of the supportive services that I mentioned, there's that pre-freshman orientation program, the continuing student summer tuition. And in the spring, during the spring break, we hold a leadership retreat for our students. Because part of what we do is building and giving students the opportunity to grow and develop professionally and otherwise. So we have embedded in our program opportunities for students to take on leadership. We do some leadership training. In order to apply for our program, you must complete the financial aid form. You must complete an EOF application. You're also it's also important for you to know that because we select students, our program is not an entitlement. We select students, so we interview students. We also need to prove to the state that there is that history of disadvantaged, economic disadvantage. So we hold an interview and we collect, as I said, the documents to prove that. We also send out the invitation. After we've done our assessment, we'll send an invitation of participation. The student is required to send that back to say yes or no. We won't release the benefits of the program until we receive that form. Those are just some of the things that we require the students to do in order to maintain their eligibility in the program. One of the themes that runs through our program is engagement and participation. So we work with students on a regular basis. The student is required to come into the office and meet with their advisor, participate in workshops, and do, just a variety of things that students going to college want to do, because you want to have that experience here. This slide shows you this past year, or this current year, coming to the end of the year. And the first experience, the summer program, this was one of the projects that they worked on. The graduation ceremony, we've got several students here who graduated and freshman students that were at the ceremony. And then the leadership retreat, and that was at the end of the retreat, we had a bonfire and roasting marshmallows and that kind of a thing. There are two clubs that come out of our department. There's the EOF Alliance Club, and that again is focusing on leadership and opportunities for leadership. The other one is the Chi Alpha Epsilon Honor Society. It's a national honor society. So one of the things that our program is holistic. We provide financial aid, but we provide a whole lot of other services. Our objective, our charge, but even let's speak about heart. Our heart is to see students excel, to see students reach their goals, their end goals, their medium goals, to reach them with joy and success and so on, to have a wonderful experience while here at OCC. And we help students transfer on to the senior institution. An important piece when we look at the financial piece of going to school and EOF is that for students who are interested, maybe not interested in EOF here at OCC because they think, well, we can manage the money, but want to be part of the EOF program at a senior institution, there's no access unless you've participated when you first started your college journey. So that's an important piece.
What we're going to talk a little bit now is the enrollment process. So we know about all these great opportunities. We figured out how to make financing your education more possible. What we're going to go over now is how to become an OCC student. It's a pretty straightforward application process. You'll go to our website, you'll click on apply, you'll create a student profile, which just asks some basic information about you, and then you'll submit the application. There's no fee, there's no essay, you're welcome, so it's super straightforward and really easy. After that, you'll receive an acceptance packet in about like a week or so, and it'll walk you through everything that we're going to go through now. Again, so if you have any questions, you can refer to that. Also, you can stay in touch with us. We answer a million questions a day about what the next steps are in enrolling, and we're happy to do so. That's what we're here for. So financially, we talked about this a little bit. Again, if you want to attend one of the open FAFSA workshops, it's a great opportunity to have someone literally hold your hand through the entire process. Testing. If you do have to take the AccuPlacer, you'll come to campus, you register for it ahead of time, you'll go over to the testing center, it's in our library. You'll sit down at the computer. The only part that is timed is the writing portion. I believe that's 50 minutes. The rest is not timed, so you can work on it as long as you need to. If you do have one of those scores, like I said, not the other one, we can exempt you from a portion of it. You'll just send that over to us. If you get placed into developmental level classes, that means that you're not, like if you don't pass the AccuPlacer, you go into developmental level classes. It's not a punishment, it's just to prepare you for the credit level. So let's say hypothetically you don't pass the math scores. In a lot of degree programs, there's a calc component or a statistics component, depending on what that program is. And it's just preparing you for that. Same thing with writing. Like let's say you don't pass the writing component, we're preparing you to write papers for the rest of your college career. So it's not a punishment, I just like to stress that. If you want, you do have one opportunity to challenge it, so you can go home, brush up a little bit more, and then come back and take it with a clearer head. Hopefully you will move up to the 4 credit level. If not, you stay in developmental. Some people will take them over the summer so they can start traditionally in the fall. So they'll just look for a section that's open online during the summer, get that done, and then come in traditionally, like I said, in the fall. Orientation and registration. Before you can register for an orientation, you have to have the AccuPlacer done. That's why we put it chronologically there. The orientation, it's a pretty simple process. You'll come to campus for the day. It's actually held in this, part of it is held in this room. You'll go for a tour with one of our orientation leaders. They'll give you a shtick on all the different student services that we offer. The advisors will talk to you a little bit more about working with professors. They'll talk to you a little bit more about building your schedule and how you can kind of fit those classes into your personal schedule. And then you'll sit down with an advisor and they'll actually help you build the classes. And a lot of times we'll get questions on how does scheduling in college work. It's up to you. So let's say you don't want to take 8 a.m. classes, you never have to take one if you don't want to. Let's say you have a crazy busy work schedule and you only have Mondays and Wednesdays free, you can stack all of your classes into that day. You can stack all your classes into one day in like 2-hour block classes and do the rest online. A word with online classes I'll add too, I'd usually recommend gradually adding them into your course load just because though you're a determined great student, Netflix is always more interesting in your bio class, and there's always something more interesting to read on BuzzFeed than your history homework, so it's good to like add them in gradually and like let them into your schedule one at a time. So I wouldn't recommend doing a full course load immediately of online classes, just a word to the wise. And again, yeah, like I said, they'll help you build that schedule so it best fits your availability. Making payment arrangements, payment is due within 24 hours after registering for classes. I'm sure that gives you anxiety because it gives me anxiety. So what people will typically do is they'll break it up into payment plans or they'll pay in full and get reimbursed from financial aid. So typically what will happen is after an orientation, they'll walk you over to the cashier's office or show you where it is over in the admin building. You can put a partial payment down and then the financial aid will cover what you didn't put out and then reimburse you. You can break it up into payment plans and pay it yourself, or you can pay in full and the financial aid or whatever scholarships you get will reimburse you. Books, you can get them downstairs at our OCC bookstore. We have Barnes & Noble bookseller, so we will price match, which is nice. So let's say you find the book on Amazon for $50, we're selling it for $100, they'll price match that, so that's kind of nice. You can get them from outside agencies too. Let's say you want to get them from Chegg or Amazon, whatever works best for you. But in the OCC bookstore downstairs, like I said, it is Barnes & Noble, so they do have other stuff too. They have notebooks, they have pens, so if you're ever looking for a pen in between classes or something like that, you can run downstairs and grab it from that. Applying, if you haven't applied yet, I can help you get applied after we do closing remarks or anything like that. Like I said, it's a super straightforward process and we're happy to help you at any point. So if you have a question about something that we went over today, 2 weeks from now, give us a call. We're always there to help. That kind of covers my enrollment shift. Do we have any questions on anything that I just went over? Yeah, you can take them over the summer if you want to. You would have to take the AccuPlacer ahead of time. So let's say you wanted to go for the AccuPlacer now and like see where you place, then you can get placed into them either next semester, like for the January to like May semester, or over the summer. That's up to the student to schedule. I think the first round of them is in March. Did I make that up? April?
Typically April, and they run all through August.
Yeah.
But the earlier they can come, the better.
So it starts in April.
It's best to get it done sooner, just because you get your first. It's the first pick of the classes, so you can kind of like get the those course the time slots that you're looking for. We can excuse you from from school for the day. So let's say you could really want to make the Wednesday orientation. They can issue you a notice. They'll send a copy over to our registration office and then it'll exempt them from the AccuPlacer. Yeah, so we have classes go all throughout the day. So we'll have like an 8 a.m. time slot, 9 a.m. time, like they're varying all throughout the day. We have night classes too, so you would kind of see which section you fit, would best fit you. Some classes will have multiple offerings during the same time, like in a basic English class will probably have like 4 or 5 time slots at the same time. It just kind of depends on like the availability of the professors, the availability of like your schedule, campus availability, stuff like that.